Welcome
Welcome
to
to
The
the
Empress and the
Empress and the
Fool.
Fool.
I'm Sarah Ditmore.
And I'm Kaitlyn, and we're here to discuss all things magical and mystic from the perspective of two curious witches.
This is our bi-weekly Tarot Time episode where we review our favorite decks and discuss the ethics and methodology of reading tarot for yourself and for others.
Woo woo!
So I was just editing our last Tarot Time, and I'm very excited. So Kaitlyn is the one who goes through our Zoom videos and creates the thumbnails.
Hmm.
And the last Tarot Time, Kaitlyn was sharing one of their decks. And so there's a lot of times, Kaitlyn, where you're like looking down at the cards. And so I made it my personal mission to make funny faces at you every time. So that you would have some great clips to pick from for the cover image of our YouTube. So if anyone
Oh,
wants to see me go make wild faces, go back and watch Tarot Time 5 on YouTube.
I did not know you did that, and I'm so excited
I've
to.
never done it before, but I felt inspired, so
I mean, the inspiration is very like on brand, and
yes.
so for a little like behind the curtains or behind the kimono, as some people say, which I really love.
Yeah.
I'm parting my kimono and saying, hey, when I am editing these things and I'm having to go through all of the Zoom clips, like one, like super cringy to watch your own face,
hmm
and then not want to be like, stop touching your hair, stop rubbing your nose, stop, like whatever.
This is
But
how I
we,
feel listening. I'm like, stop interrupting, stop saying that
oh
like
my God,
filler
never,
word, stop doing
never stop
this.
interrupting. I'm going to interrupt you and say, never stop interrupting. That's my love language. But so I have to like scrub through these videos really quickly. I've gotten a little bit better about it, desensitized myself, and I will find the like worst screen caps of us, and I will save them, and I have them in this like giant folder of screenshots, and then I will send a different version of the thumbnail to Sarah called the Goblin Edit if I find something particularly good. I think the witch episode
I
was
was
one
gonna
of
say
my
there's
favorites.
there's one where I actually used the goblet at it. It's like a spring magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little Easter egg for y'all on our YouTube. Our spring magic episode has the goblet edit thumbnail, so you can see, for example, what we do when we're not when we're not getting our cute smiling, drinking tea, laughing. It's chaos.
Oh my God. And the one that I like particularly like giggled to myself about for like far too long was
Yeah.
the witch one where like I think you're doing like these like goblin hands where you're like, yeah, and I put a little magic wand behind one of your hands, and I was doing this, so I put a cauldron underneath me, so
Oh
it looks
my
really dumb. It
God.
looks so dumb,
I'm
and I
trying to
love
find
it. And
it.
I
Oh my God, I see it. Okay, maybe if enough people like start watching our YouTube, we'll have a reveal. I don't know what
I
that
won't
number
stop doing
needs to
them because
be, but like, because it's pretty epic.
I mean I won't stop
Um,
doing it because it like doesn't take that much extra time, and it gives me so much joy.
we'll do like a someday in the future we'll have like a bonus where it's like, oh, if you subscribe to this thing or do this thing, you can get all of our goblin edits
Support us on Patreon.
and get all the goblin edit thumbnails revealed.
Yes.
Oh
You
my
know what?
God.
That's the problem with I think like a lot of the things that bring me joy don't bring me money.
Yeah, that's
And I
called
don't need it to be.
neurodivergence.
And I don't need it to be, but at the same time, the things that I want to spend extra time on, like goblin edits, like
hmm
it's for my own personal financial material
Well, I do
fulfillment.
say, like with the pentacles, right? Everyone's always like, "Oh, pentacles in tarot, it's your career," and I'm like, it's also just like your foundations. It's what holds you up. It's what supports you. It's what
Hmm.
I always say. It's what puts food on the table. And so, if your food is
I
goblin
like that.
edits, then you should prioritize goblin
That is
edits.
my food. That is my food on the table. I'll say it's like it's also about your health and your body. It's sex.
Yeah. Ow,
And I
ow.
have to say it like that because otherwise it's like
You giggle.
I no, I have to make it silly.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
sex.
Well, today's
What are,
tarot episode is not about sex,
yeah,
but
Sarah, what are we talking about today?
tarot time. We are reviewing one of my favorite decks, or one of my decks. I guess it's becoming a new favorite. It is called the Vintage Tarot Tattoo.
Oh,
No, wait. Let's try that again. Take two. It is called.
keep that in there. Sarah,
It
future
is.
Sarah, keep that in there.
Future Sarah, don't cut this out.
Future Sarah.
It is called the Vintage Tattoo Tarot.
Love. I think this is one of the first ones that you sent me a photo of, being like, I can't wait to review this. And like
Yes.
you sent me a couple of photos and you're like, you're like, I don't want to show you any of them, but I'm too excited. I'll send you a couple. Like,
So I actually got this as a gift pretty soon after we started this podcast from the owner of the local bookstore here.
oh,
So shout out to
cute.
Andy, thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
And it's by both created and illustrated by Alyssa Wilson, who's a tattoo artist.
Very cool.
And it's all, what is this style of tattoo? I guess vintage tattoo.
I think it's called like American or Americana.
Yeah, American something. I was just some.
American traditional, I
Yes,
think.
yes, that is it. American traditional. So it's all American traditional. So it's the tarot re-inspired
Mm-hmm.
with like American traditional style tattoos.
I'm doing a quick Google search to make sure that
No,
I'm
it
correct
is
and I'm
because,
correct.
and I'm gonna reveal this later in the episode, but there's a tattoo artist who does American traditional tattoos that friends of mine go to, and uh,
Ooh.
and so I remembered that it was the same as that, but I forgot. Anywho,
Yeah.
um, do you want to describe the box for me?
Yes, I do. So honestly, I can't tell about the size, but it's this kind of like beautiful, like,
It's kind of like the ideal like classic tarot size where it's like the cards are just a little bit longer than a deck of cards.
okay.
But the box is like just big enough to fit it. So it's kind of like a maybe fits, from the base of my palm to the second knuckle of my middle finger. So
Cute. Okay, so it is this like kind of really gorgeous light blue sky, like cerulean kind of color. You see my freaking art. Are you proud of me, like
I
art
am,
teacher?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Look at
thanks.
you knowing your colors. Though I would argue
I
it's more
know.
seafoam. No, I'm
Oh, it's
kidding.
bitch.
Also,
So
Charlie gives me shit because I cannot give people shit without immediately saying I'm kidding. Like I never, because like my little autistic brain will get a little confused.
yep,
So I'm always like, I don't want anyone to be confused. I am kidding.
you're like, I'm confused. I'm kidding. So basically it says vintage tattoo tarot and like a little bit of like an arc script on the top.
Hmm.
And then in the middle there is a hand holding three cards with stars on them in that like American style.
Hmm.
And then two kind of like ferns almost.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like they make me think of like the victory leaves, like when you have
yeah,
like an
like
award.
laurels.
Yeah, laurels. There we go.
Yeah, they're they're carrying the little like hands. They're like on the sides of them, and then there's like these cute little swirly clouds in each of the four corners.
Yeah.
It's a really sweet. It's very like light
Hmm.
for a tarot deck style. Like it feels very clean and happy and like more minimalistic than I see in most decks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely. And I think all the art is that way. It's kind of like, I mean, it's American traditionalism. So, right? It's very like strong graphics, bold design with like not a lot
Yep.
of ornamentation.
Yeah.
And I feel like yeah, I feel like I love a deck. We've never really talked about this before, but I think it comes up as we talk about imagery, but I do love a deck where like you see the box and you get a sense of what's inside.
Yeah.
Like
We should
if I
add
would,
that.
we should, I know, I was just thinking that, like, if you pick up the box, do you feel like, oh yeah, this is what I expected when you get it home? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What's like the advertising is accurate.
Yeah, exactly. No false
Yes.
marketing.
No false marketing. I like that a lot.
Also, as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing that on the side she has a little bio. Um, And it says Alyssa Wilson is the tattoo artist and tarot enthusiast behind the popular Instagram account at artby.ocha. So if you want to check out her work, you can go there. And then she says her work is inspired by subjects and techniques used in traditional tattoo art. She lives in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, close to me.
Yeah, so if you like her work, you can go take a little day trip to Boulder.
Actually, we're gonna kind of go through Boulder when you come up.
Mhm.
Wait, what is the Instagram again? I'm gonna
At art by dot OCHA.
Ooh, cute. Oh my God. Sorry. Just their second image on here is this cute little
Oh, it's like a
Like
little pumpkin patch kid.
traditional American style of this like adorable little strawberry girl. So yeah,
Yeah,
go check her out. She looks
yeah.
like the Cupid doll,
Yeah,
but
I
as
love
little
it.
strawberries. That's adorable. Okay.
Okay, so the box itself is perfect, personally.
Okay.
I mean, everyone has their own preferences, but it's really thick cardboard. Like, I don't know if you can see, but it's like
Ooh.
a solid like quarter-inch thick.
She's
Um,
thick.
like if I sit here and try to like bend the box at all, it doesn't.
High durability.
So
And then
very baggable.
And then just for people who are not on YouTube, the inner
Oh
lining
yes.
is just like a kind of basic pattern of what looks like the star from the star card.
Which is eight points. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, so like a compass star too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
then
really pretty.
the inside of the box, like the outside of the inside of the
The
box.
hidden the hidden part,
The like edges that get
the
covered by the
edges.
top have those
Yes.
same like laurels with a little four-pointed black star between them. And it's
Yeah, and
just
there's
like
like this gorgeous ombre effect too of like this kind of like white watercolory circle with
yeah,
that
with
kind of
the blue,
seafoam,
with the cerulean,
cerulean,
seafoam,
cyan, seafoam,
aqua.
aqua.
Have you ever played Hues and Cues?
Yes. Okay. I just played that last week and somebody said, "What is cyan?"
I got weirdly angry about that for a moment.
I did
You
too, and
mean
I didn't
cyan?
I didn't want to sound like an asshole
Well, that's why I
and
stopped
start getting
myself.
mad. No, okay,
Because
this
I
is
was
a
like,
safe
and my
space.
immediate reaction was, "You mean fucking cyan?" And then I was like, "Oh my God, Sarah, you sound like the worst person to hang out with."
No, 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 because I'm that person too. And I really, because it comes from a place of love. It
Yeah.
comes from a place of love and wanting to like, huh?
Everyone should know the correct things. Let me tell
And
them
I,
what I know.
I think it was like this, sorry, I'm being very interruptive today.
It's
Um,
okay, I'm loving it.
there is this like kind of Sarah and I were talking about like how our brains work, and I don't know what the word for that is, but like the way that you mentally like imagine how
Oh, so I was explaining to Kaitlyn that while I was kind of pursuing autistic diagnosis, one of the things that I came across as like not necessarily a part of like a symptom, but like one of the
Mhm,
many questions they'll ask for diagnostics because it's very common for people with autism. And
mhm.
and there's a lot of overlap with ADHD and autism, and they're kind
Okay,
of thinking it might even be a similar disease with just different
we're like sisters.
presentations.
Our symptoms are sisters. That's so
Yeah,
cute.
yeah. But well, and I even had a therapist tell me that like there's kind of growing belief in the world of psychology that they could just be like names we gave the same symptom that just show up differently in different people. That they're like still
Oh,
trying, and that's why you see so much overlap between the two because it's just like two different ways of manifesting the same kind of mental internal experience.
is that why my algorithm like also thinks that I'm autistic as
Yeah,
well?
and this
Okay,
this
that's
came
why.
up this came up because my doctor or my therapist was saying like, have you ever considered that if you could maybe be ADHD as well? And I was like, yeah, but like whatever. But they're not, but that's just one theory. I'm not saying that's like the truth fact, but that's just what I've heard. Um, but I got sidetracked. See, ADHD behavior.
Hey,
So I was explaining to Kaitlyn that in autistic people and in many like ADHD people as well, you can picture what the organizational system is inside of your brain. Like you
hmm
have a system or like a structure for your brain that is visual. So like if I asked well, now you can take over because you have done this.
I have done this because I think about thinking a lot.
Yeah, I think about thinking so much because
I
yeah, obvious
yeah.
reasons.
Well, like in relation to this instance that I was in where somebody said cyan, like but they're like, what the fuck is that? And my brain works like a chaotic, like Wikipedia style, lots of hyperlinks, like lots of random related words. But also like a chaotic, like manic detective board, like the It's Always in
All the
Sunny in
like red
Philadelphia.
strings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when like Charlie is talking about like oh my God, what is his name? Anyway, it doesn't
Oh,
matter right now.
the post office bit. Yeah.
Yes, the post office bit. Yes, yes. That is how my brain works. And when somebody said CN, my brain immediately went to, do you not know CMYK? Do you not know how printers work? By the way, did you know that The Wizard of Oz was based on like a lot of needing to like know the negative color like theory, blah blah blah. And I just had to like physically stop myself
You
of
had to
like
like cancel the tag. Like it's like
cancel,
pop-ups were coming and you were like X X X
cancel,
X.
cancel, cancel, cancel. Oh my God. And I felt like such, and I was like, I know I had to like hover above my body for a moment because I was like, I know what this is going to sound like, and it's not going to be as cool to anyone else as it is to me.
It's gonna
And
sound assholey, even though you mean it in like a did you know and not like a fuck you, did you know?
fun fact, I'm so
Exactly.
stoked about science.
I know. It's very hard to live with a brain where you just when you hear things that are incorrect, all you want to do is talk about it.
Or things that like make you shine. I always call it like things that make you shiny. Like when you talk about things
Like
that like
special
make you
interests and
glow.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I talked to a doctor recently and he started talking to me about apple varieties and I was like, never have I ever been so interested in apple varieties, but you were so shiny about this right now.
Exactly. Like I love hearing it just as
I
much as
love
I
it.
do like I had this with the person I get a wax from yesterday because usually I just like I struggle with small talk, shocker. Uh, and so when I'm in situations like that, I just kind of like try to like get them talking and like they are professional talkers, like people who do your hair, people who do your nails, like they will fill the
Yes.
space if you can't. And so I just ask like, where are you going for spring break? What are you doing with your kids? How's your husband's job going? And like keep it all on them. And then something came up where I said, "Oh yeah, we were just talking about that at my like tarot and tea event." And she was like, "Tarot and tea?" And then of course I came alive and was just like, "Here, let me talk about
Oh
tarot for the next half hour." Blah, 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 blah. And so I feel like yeah, that's what the shiny thing is.
my God. It's so lovely to see. I think like that's the essence. And I know we have to actually talk about what we're going to talk about
We
on our
do.
episode, but I think that's like the essence of why Sarah and I love each other so much and why this podcast works so well. Because we both just like, I think we bring out the shininess in each other and like allow space for that
Yes.
shininess. And you're like, even if I don't personally find this like deep dive interesting, I do find it interesting because I love you and because I see how happy it makes
Yeah.
you.
Which is
And
why I believe that any of our listeners who are neurotypical have probably stopped listening by now.
ah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we have
A
a target
hundred.
audience.
Yeah, we I was wondering about our demographics and I was like, okay, like I don't really know like gender, age, like sexual, like whatever. No, neurodivergent,
Mm-hmm.
neuroatypical.
Mm-hmm. Probably
Welcome.
a little
You're
gay.
mostly gay.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a great ally. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
happy to have
Here
you
for the
here.
A's.
Um
Okay, so I
okay,
love the
so
box.
what are we here for?
I love the box. It's very like firm. It feels like I could throw this across the room and it would barely make an impact.
I
And
love
it
that.
like it has that like perfect like tightness where like there's resistance when you open, but it still comes off super easy, which I feel
Okay.
like means you won't like have it fall open in your purse and like pour cards everywhere. So 10 out of 10 bagability.
I love that. I like a durable, like it's not, yeah, you throw it in,
Yeah,
you travel with it, and then it doesn't wear after putting it in your bag like one
exactly.
time. Yeah, yeah. I love that.
Okay,
Um,
and the cards fit like perfectly snug inside the box.
oh, love that. I always imagine it's like a little bed
Now I'm wondering,
where the booklet went.
or if it did it come with a booklet or did I take the booklet out or was there no booklet?
Let me let me do
You
research.
Google if it comes
Yeah,
with a booklet. I'm gonna read the back of this box because I
perfect.
didn't even get to this part yet, and it's so good. They're
Oh my
like,
God, there's a lot of tattoo tarots. Okay, I found it.
okay,
Wow.
the back of the box says, "Celebrate queerness in tattoo." Oh my God, Sarah. The back of the box,
Wow.
the back of the box says, "Celebrate queerness in tarot with tattoo-inspired art." Embark on a journey of liberation, self-discovery, and growth with this queer modern spin on traditional tarot deck imagery and symbolism. These gorgeous gender inclusive cards buck heteronormativity and gender norms and aid you in empowering yourself to make positive change in your life. Seek greater insight into your inner self and celebrate healing and self transformation.
This is
Finding
oh,
Finding
sorry.
inspiration in vintage flash tattoo subjects and techniques, Vintage Tattoo Tarot marries modern subjects with vintage art for a deck that assists you in learning from the past and looking to the future.
That is way more queer than I
Oh
anticipated it
yeah,
to
wait till I
be.
show you the cards. It's such like
Hell yes.
a it truly does feel like not only like a cool artistic reimagining of the tarot, but also like a queering and modern reimagining of the tarot.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I really
Also,
love that.
I'm suddenly very vividly picturing the booklet in my head, which means it does exist. So I'm gonna run upstairs and get that. I'll cut this part out. Anywho, so inside the box,
Tell me,
um,
did we find the booklet?
yes. Okay.
Okay.
So when you open the box, the cards fit like perfectly inside. You know, it's very little room. It's very snug, but like
Mhm.
enough room to dump them out with ease. And the booklet fits really nicely right on top, and it's super thin.
Oh, that's a very efficiently
Yeah,
spaced book,
I do. I personally love a booklet that doesn't take up that much room. Surprise,
right?
surprise. As someone who's not a big booklet girl. But no, I think it's perfect because it's like got the info you need, but it's very compact and doesn't like overwhelm the whole situation. It's got the same art as the box, and then
Mhm.
it's got a little table of contents, which I love. So
Oh, I
you
love
can go
that.
like, okay, am I looking at major arcana, minor arcana, what suit? And that's how it's sorted by major, minor, and then suit,
Love
obviously.
that.
Tarot. Um, and
Well,
it's
some people do
got
it differently and it gets really confusing.
true. Anyone who doesn't do it that way, I think is silly. So it's got a little introduction, which I think is cool because it talks a little bit about not just like tarot, but also like why this art style and like the history of this art style. Um,
Oh,
And then a little just like quick overview of the format of tarot. So it has like a paragraph about the major arcana. It has a little page about the minor arcana where it just talks about like what they are. So if this were your first tarot deck, you wouldn't be totally in the loss. But it also only has one, two, three, 4 pages of like any of that and then gets immediately into the cards, which I like. I don't know. I don't ever read the intros.
I like that too. I think the last tarot time that we did for the Witch's Oracle had quite a lot. I think the book was a lot thicker and had
Yeah.
quite a lot of intro stuff. And I think that just depends on like what the uses of the cards. It kind of makes
Mhm.
sense that the Witch's Oracle would have a little more info and like chunky
Yeah.
info on that. But don't hate me, tarot makers. But like, I also don't super need like a lot of like the personal
Yeah. I'm here
background
for the
or like a
cards,
lot
not
of
for
the
the
history.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. It kind of reminds me of those like recipe pages
Yeah.
where like the first 80% of the article is like, I took a walk with my husband and the leaves were falling. And you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
like love this for you, but like, how do I make the spinach
Right,
dip?
right. And I do love like I think the best is something like this where you have like I think of cookbooks as a great example where some
Hmm.
cookbooks I have like a whole page diving into like when they would make this recipe as a kid and blah blah blah. And but my favorites have like and then there's some that have absolutely nothing. It's just the
Hmm.
recipe. And then my
Yep.
favorites are the ones where they have like a little paragraph of like, I used to make this recipe for this reason, or this is why this recipe matters. And because it gives you a little context, especially if it's like a cultural recipe that's not from my own
Yeah.
culture. But like, that's all I need. And then I want to get into like what I actually came here for.
Love it. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
And then so it's got little like header pages. So like the major arcana. And I'm gonna cover this because I'm gonna show you the actual. Let's go to a
I
different
didn't
one.
see it. But so for people not on YouTube,
We'll go to this. We'll go
it
to this
has
page.
like the kind of chapter pages also have the laurels and
Yeah.
like this big kind of like classic all caps tattoo. Like it's almost like that
Like
stencil.
the
It's like the
serif
sten
font. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a stencil
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
type
Yeah.
font. But it has the laurels like on top and on bottom. And it's very pretty. It's very well designed.
And then the
Oh,
actual pages have like the little pictures of the cards, which I love. And then the
and it's just
title,
one
it's
page.
one page per card.
Love
Um,
that.
and then it just has the title, it has key meanings. So it has like kind of like when you go to like Biddy Tarot or Golden Thread, like this is or any of those, like this is what they
Hmm.
do, right? Where they're like key
Yeah, you're like
meanings.
quick and dirty.
Exactly. And so, like, okay, so for the tower, it says key meanings upright, trauma, disaster, destruction, upheaval,
Hmm.
reversed, averting disaster, delaying the inevitable, resisting change. And then it has
Hmm.
a paragraph for each of those to like dive deeper into what it means.
Is it divided by upright and reversed?
So
Okay.
continuing with the tower upright. Simply put, the tower card means sudden upheaval and destruction. While we hardly want to see this card in a reading, when it does turn up, it is necessary and truthful. The change it is either predicting or sensing is typically a rather life-altering and chaotic change. The position of the card in a reading is also crucial. The tower can show up in a past position, signifying that you've gone through.
Mm.
Whereas in a future position, it could provide a warning to avoid destructive behavior.
I
Cool.
like that it gives like more of, I mean, obviously we talk a lot about how is so interpretive and
Yeah.
depending on what you're asking and where it's placed and when you pull it
Yeah.
or what cards are surrounding it, it can mean different things. But I really like, I think this sounds like it's a really good deck for beginners.
I think so. And the art is very accessible. And like the
Yeah,
descriptions in here, I feel like they're that perfect balance of like giving you knowledge while also leaving space for your own insight and interpretation and not saying like, this is
yeah.
what it means.
Because I think when I was reading cards earlier, and I would like in my little baby tarot phase, I would kind of see cards in different positions and be like, oh, I know what this means, but like I don't know what it means in this position. So I like that it gives you like a little bit of a signal to
Yeah.
start to form your own thoughts without telling you exactly like
Yeah, exactly. Like I
this is
do a
what it
monthly
means.
I do a monthly tarot and tea party out here and we pulled a card for
Go to
like
sarahdivorn.com to see when those are.
last Sunday of the month every month.
Hmm.
And last at the last one we pulled in the like what to lean away from, we
Hmm.
pulled strength and I was like, interesting, I've never had it in this position before. And it took me like a long time to figure out like what it meant. And yeah, so I love when cards like trick you like that.
Like, what do you mean we're leaning away from the
Yes,
strength?
exactly, exactly.
What the hell
Which
are you
if you want
talking
to find
about?
out what we meant, go subscribe to themysticmonty.substack.com.
I do, and you should too.
So yeah, so it goes through the major arcana, it goes through each of the suits, and then it has like a one page acknowledgments and like a paragraph about the author. And also look how wait,
Oh,
let me
look at
see.
their cute little face. Look at their cute little author
Um,
face.
they don't use pronouns in their bio, so look how cute they are.
I love those micro
Also
bangs.
like intimidatingly cool.
I know. I know.
I
I
could
love
never
those
pull
little
off
micro
micro
bangs.
bangs.
I was literally thinking the same thing. I don't think I could.
Like good on
I
you, but it's never gonna happen for me.
know the bravery and the like the way that it fits. Perfect. Perfectly executed.
All right, now for the cards themselves.
Let's see. What are we missing? Booklet. Okay. I am keeping track of what we have to
Thank
go
you.
through. I got you.
Also, do you see little Hector peeking out through the corner?
Shut your fucking face. He's so
If
cute.
you're watching on if you're not watching, Hector's little face is just peeking in. Hector's my little kitty cat, a little orange cat, and he's just peeking in through
Hmm.
the corner of the video. Ow. Fuck right off.
saw that. I saw that coming
That's his
too.
favorite thing. He like licks your hand and then just gets bored and chomps. Um,
That's what my puppy does too.
okay, so my absolute favorite thing about these cards as a girly who loves a matte design is that they are matte and not sparkly.
Um,
Like, you know, right?
oh,
Oh,
what the hell?
oh,
Sarah just pulled the tower. Sarah is just trying to show
I
me the
just flipped to a
cards.
random card to like show them to you, Kaitlyn, and the tower showed up.
What the hell?
Okay, we're just gonna let
I
that.
don't like that.
Well, we're not gonna think of too much about it because nobody likes it. I know we just read a whole thing where it was like it can be like good and blah blah blah, but like, fuck the tower.
Meh.
We'll go to a
Fuck the
different one.
tower.
Oh my
Yes.
God!
What?
You get one guess. I was like, we're gonna flip to a different one. What do you think it
Is it the
was?
fool?
If
No, is
it's
it
the
strength?
tower energy, if it's tower energy.
Ten of
If I
Swords?
was like, oh, I don't want the tower, I'm gonna flip to something else that's not as scary.
Oh, death. Okay. This is okay.
Okay,
This is
apparently
actually,
something's needs to be addressed in our lives.
oh God. Okay, well, honestly, I like death way more than the Ten of
I love
Swords.
it. And
I've
the
got
death
to
is
say, I
beautiful.
love this death is really beautiful. It's like a vintage
Like
like
20s lady.
lady, yeah, with like little finger waves. And she's holding a skull that's a candle on the top or has a candle on the top,
Yeah.
and you can see her like rib cage is exposed, not her boobs, just a
No,
rib cage, and
and
there's
not like and not as in like she's naked, as in like you can actually see like her
it's
torso
like a
is just the
dress.
skeleton of like no, there's no I don't think it is. I think it's just it's like
It looks like a
death.
plunging neckline dress to me.
Oh, funny. I
Interesting.
think it's just the skull, like the skeleton, because you get the vertebrae
Oh, and it's the
and there's
sternum.
no like
Okay.
fabric anywhere.
Interesting. That looks, it's really cool. And then there's like two white roses on the top.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
so the art is
what the
very
fuck?
like matte, very earth tones, which I really appreciate. Which actually surprised me because when you think American traditional, I often think like brighter colors, but I
Yeah.
really like the like vintagey, like older sepia tone, like warm earth tones. And the
So like,
cards. Oh, go ahead.
oh, so I was gonna say for American traditional, I am not a tattoo historian, but I do know that like American traditional, I know used a lot of primary colors that were really strong, so that when
Yeah.
they did fade, they would look like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so initially they show up really bright, and obviously now we have like non-organic pigments as well. So they
Yeah.
I think they stay like we've modernized tattoos, so the colors can stay a lot brighter. But back
Yeah.
then, they're organic compounds that would degrade over time. So they would end up having these like sepia earth tones. So they had to make them really bright early on so that they
Wow.
would last a really long time.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
The more you know. Fun
the
fact.
more you know. Pulled from my Wikipedia detective red string brain.
Um, the cards have that like really nice kind of satiny feel where they're not too they
Ooh,
don't have the like stickiness at all.
I don't like that. I don't like the stickiness. I love the satiny,
So
like
good.
silky finish.
And the back of
Okay.
them is so cool.
Oh, oh, hell yeah. So it's like it's mirror imaged almost from top to bottom, so that there are these kind of two disembodied hands, like cupping either side. What do you call that? Like holding. They're like little holding hands. We're
Yeah.
doing the hand motion.
I'm doing it in hopes it'll give me like feeling it. My body will give me the words, but I'm like, it's not quite jazz hands, but it's like,
Like cup it's like kind of the, I don't know. I went to church
you
when I
know.
was younger. When the priest is holding up like the cup,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, whatever.
Anyway, it
Anyway,
doesn't really matter.
it doesn't.
There's four disembodied hands.
Four disembodied hands, two from the top, two from the bottom. On the bottom that I'm seeing right now is a gorgeous little like chalice at the bottom with a star design in the middle. To the left between the two hands is a sword. There's Hector again.
It's because it's
Um,
almost his lunchtime.
Oh, there's a pentacle at the top between the top two hands. And then there is a wiggly little wand on the right and an eight-pointed star in the middle with four little stars on the corners as well, or like one star in each corner.
I got
Um,
distracted by Hector. Did you mention the sword as well?
Yes, I did.
Cool. So yeah, so the cards are beautiful. I'm in love with the like texture and feel of them. The imagery is great. So let me show you a couple. Of course, I have the Fool and the Empress for us to look at.
Have to.
Um, so one of the things I really love about this deck that we'll see as I start to bring this through, because the author mentioned that this is like a celebration of queerness, but it's also very diverse in like gender present or yes, gender presentation, but also like racial presentation and
Oh,
like
I love.
body shape, body size, like there's a lot of variation. So I really love that.
I love it too. Also, when you said queerness, Hector was like, "What?"
He's a homophobe.
I was like, "Ew."
Gross, the
Hector, you're queer
queers.
too.
So this is
Wow.
the Empress.
That okay, this is really gorgeous. So it is a figure predominantly like it's this a femme presenting person in the middle with really cute winged eyeliner.
Yes.
Her hair kind of looks like mine, but not purple.
Yeah, like
Like a little
long black wavy hair. Yeah.
long, yeah,
Kind of
with
has
like
all like
kind of
olive
strings.
skin. Yeah.
Yeah, strings that kind of does look like me. What
Yeah,
the
I
heck?
know. That's
What?
why I was like, wait, I'm supposed
Wait,
to be. Well, the
that's
Fool kind of looks like
you.
you too.
So yeah, so it's a person with yeah, like kind of an olive tone skin, beautiful winged eyeliner, and she's looking down at again these kind of like cupping hands. She's gazing down at this red heart with a Venus symbol or
Yeah.
like the female symbol. There's gorgeous little eight-pointed stars throughout her head, and one really big one in the middle of her forehead, which goals.
Yeah, right.
And then at the top two corners there are pomegranates like cut in half
Like a
long
cross section of the
ways.
pomegranate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see like the little chambers. Gorgeous. you are you are teasing me for the Fool. This is gorgeous though. I would get a
Yes.
tattoo of this. Oh,
And then the Fool that I know you're gonna love.
stop the Fool has your haircut.
Oh my God, it does. So yes,
So wait, I love this. Okay, so the Fool, can you pull it back a little bit?
yes.
So it's like the classic Fool, like a person that's kind of walking towards a cliff's edge. So it really does match the Rider-Waite-Smith. Um, but this Fool is like a cute little jester.
Yeah, like a
And
clown almost.
uh-huh, and the walking is more of a prance.
Almost
The
as if
what?
they're like on a tightrope,
Yes,
but they're just on the grass.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they're wearing this like one piece leotard with like a frill collar, very
So good.
jestery,
So
so
good.
cute. It's a really cute little like face with this kind of like bobbed hairstyle,
Yeah,
almost
very
like
again like 20s, like with
yeah,
the little coif at the end.
the
Yeah.
coif. That's such a good
Yeah.
word.
And the
Um,
like harsh bangs across the forehead.
yes, it's very cute. It's very like Dita Von Teese.
Yeah, yeah.
So the two items that she is
Walking
holding,
purse first.
purse first. Oh, walk into the room, purse first. If you don't watch Drag Race, do watch. Thanks, Bob the Drag Queen. So in her right hand, holding outstretched is a what it's like a tote bag with a white rose on it, which does kind of mirror the Rider-Waite-Smith. We have the Fool who's holding a rose very like gingerly in between two
Right.
fingers, but it's a bag, purse first.
Yeah.
And then in the other hand, she's holding a clown sad, like a sad
Like
clown
yeah, like the
mask.
classic sound sad
Classic
clown.
clown. Classic clown with a little like party hat with the like the little cross eyes and like the blue
Mhm.
mouth, but it's like on a pole.
Yeah,
It's
like
on a
instead of
stick.
the pole with the little like pack of goods that the Fool usually carries
Yeah.
on their back.
Yeah. So I'm actually really curious about this interpretation because the sad mask isn't over her face, but she is carrying the sad mask with her. And I'm very, and then there's like cute little mountains in the background.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
this is
and
a
then all the
really
cards like
cool,
are then bordered in white and black and just say like
mhm,
the have that same kind of like script that's almost stencily.
yeah, on the
Yeah.
bottom and then the number on the top.
Yeah.
And it's very clear. I think that's one thing that's really nice is sometimes the numbers are a little bit hidden, or it won't have the name of the card on the bottom anywhere. And that's fine. It's a stylistic choice, but I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
do like being able to like that's what it
Yes,
is.
yes, exactly.
Um,
So
can
I
I
wanted to,
hear from the
yeah,
booklet?
I don't know if they'll talk about anything other than like the traditional understanding of the Fool, but let's find out.
I'm just
Um,
so curious.
The Fool can represent new beginnings, either physically or spiritually, just as the Fool card is gazing upward, unaware of the journey they may take off the cliff. This card suggests that you may need to take a leap of faith into the unknown, which will
Mm,
likely lead to growth. In times when you might be in your head too much, the Fool reassures you that it's okay to step out of your comfort zone. See, it doesn't address the sad mask at all.
what do you think that interpretation is? Because I've never
Mm.
seen it like that.
I mean, having looked at this deck so much, I do think there is a blend of interpretive choices as well as just tattoo choices where like like trying to include traditional symbols and artistic
Mhm.
representations of like historic tattoo styles. So it might just be that of like
Okay.
the clown, the fool, like want to include that in there. Um but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe like this is my own kind of thought or interpretation, not necessarily something I think they're trying to share, but like a little bit of the like when you're stepping into something new, you're taking your stuff, you have to bring your stuff with you, right? And in the
Hmm.
traditional tarot or in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, that's the pack, right? Like they're setting off
Hmm.
into the known, bringing their stuff, like their baggage with them. And in this case,
Yeah.
it's like your depression doesn't leave just because you move.
Stop calling me out.
Like that clown face is coming with ya. That's just one thought, one idea of what might come through with it, but I think it
I
could be
like
interpreted a
that.
lot of different ways.
And it's interesting that the white rose is supposed to symbol purity,
Mm,
which is why it's also in the death card too. It's like this
yeah.
kind of like cleanness, and that's what death is about, is also about like a new beginning, like a kind of
Mhm.
clean slate. But it's interesting that that image is on the baggage, which usually doesn't come with like purity.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
So it's kind of like reversed.
right, because it's almost like in this one, the purse looks very empty. And it's almost like they're going out, like they're holding the purse in front of them, like they're going out to fill their purse, right? There's
Oh,
nothing in it yet. They're
interesting.
going out to have these experiences, adventures, and like fill their story up.
God, I love talking to you. Okay.
All right, so I don't want to sit here and deep describe each of these, but I'm going to give you a couple of my favorite
Cool.
imageries, just because I think they're really evocative and informative of the kind of playful essence of this deck. So the one of my favorites is the Hanged Man because it's like a
Oh.
trapeze artist on a hula hoop like or
Oh,
like
oh
on
my
a big hoop
God.
hanging from the sky, and it just seems such like the energy of like there's different ways of reading the Hanged Man, and
Hmm.
this very much feels like the one of like calm and in control and just like in a moment of pause, right? Like
Interesting.
they're gonna keep moving on with their act, but they're just pausing right now.
So it looks like in the four corners there looks like they're kind of like daisies
Yeah, or like
almost.
cosmos or something.
Cosmos, yeah. So and then it's like a very Freddie Mercury-esque figure, like kind of C shape, like
Yeah,
in a C shape, like in the middle of like a
yeah,
trapeze thing, and a cute little like one piece red and white striped
yes.
like little booty shorts. Very cute.
Okay, but also I have a lot I want to show you, so I don't want to deeply describe all of them because we'll
Okay,
be here
I'll just do a
for an
quick I'll
hour.
do a quick one.
So, a few others I think you will love is the Knight of Coins.
Stop. It's a little knight on top of a white horse who's doing like a little Russian like kick dance,
Standing on one foot, kicking his
standing on
opposite
one
leg out.
foot on a horse. I love
Like there's a
that.
very
That's
certain that's
so
also I think
funny.
part of it is like with the clown and then that and then the hanged man, there's also like a circus energy to all of this. Like
It's a
circus
very
freaks,
like
right?
an
Like
old like vintage big top. Yes.
and then I wanted to show you a couple because I think one of the things that this deck really does well is diversity.
Wow.
So We have like a very thin black woman for Queen of Wands.
Wow. And she's holding like two matches above and below her.
Her body
Um,
is a matchbook.
her body is a matchbox. That is so cool. And then there's like two really sassy dancing cats at her feet. That is so cute.
Uh-huh. And then, of course, the queerness, the lovers.
The lovers are two femme presenting people, and there are boobs, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're holding each other, and there's
And they're
fire.
loving on each other.
Stop.
Um,
Oh. Wait, don't stop. That's really cute.
the world, and this I think is a great example of like body inclusivity. So the world, this is also femme presenting, fully nude, like big boobs drooping down, like half shaved bush and covered head to toe in like fine blue tattoos,
That's amazing.
right?
And it looks very much like the Rider-Waite Smith
Yes.
version.
And
Oh
also
my
like
gosh.
not white, like kind of racially what's that word?
Ambiguous?
Thank you, racially
Got
ambiguous,
you.
but
That is gorgeous.
and then I think this is the one I sent you a picture of back in the day because you've got to have awareness of this.
Oh, it is the star card, and it is very, again, like, oh my God, I'm seeing so many things. I love this. So it is a kind of like the traditional star card, of a person pouring water into a body of water, one
Yeah,
foot
like
in, one foot out,
long hair, naked, like
stars all
yeah.
around, but they have water coming out of their nipples,
Yeah.
and they're
Which I
also,
love, like the because so much about this card is reciprocity, right? So it's like they're pouring the water out of their nipples back into the earth. So
and that's so
good.
symbolic too, because it's like very it's a symbol of like nurturing, but it's
Yeah.
also a person who, why am I forgetting the word, intersex. It
Yes.
appears to be an intersex person who presents with breasts and presents with a penis.
Yeah.
That is
I know.
incredible. What?
I know. It's like one of my favorite cards ever.
I would get a tattoo of that
I would
too.
too, except that I'd have to put it somewhere where none of my family would ever see it because they'd freak out.
100%. 100%.
And then I didn't pull out all the pages because there's a lot, but I pulled out two of them. All of the pages are animals,
Oh.
but they're like humanoid animals.
Shut your fucking face. Oh.
Guys, I mean, I don't usually care if you listen or watch on YouTube, but this one's worth watching on YouTube because the imagery of these cards is unreal.
Oh my God. It's the
So,
Page of Cups.
the Page of Cups is possibly my favorite card in this deck.
It's very you. It's
It's
like a
Pisces.
fish. It's a fish with long black
Maybe is that
boots
like a
and
is that a
legs.
trout?
It looks like a trout or a
Like a
salmon. I
like
think a
a
trout.
yeah.
I don't know
I
fish.
don't either.
I just eat them.
Yeah.
Um, Sitting in a martini glass. That is so hot.
With
Fish
like
with
yeah, like
legs.
long naked human legs with like knee-high black heeled boots. It's unreal. Like kicking one
This is
foot in the air. It's
everything.
so good.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
the
And then
Page
the
of
Page of
Swords made me think
Swords.
of you, so that's why I pulled it out.
Oh, it's like a
Is it a
little
hawk?
falcon or a
Falcon.
hawk. Yeah, in like little rainy background,
I think it's an
holding.
eagle. Look at its
Is it an
head.
eagle?
Like the
It's
brown
one
and
of
white.
those.
It's a bird of
It's one
prey.
of those birds of prey. Yes, but it's standing like a human and holding a sword,
And
and
it's
it
like
looks really grumpy.
it's got a very serious face, but it's like ready for like the battle, right? It's like holding its sword. It's wearing like the feathers are kind of in such a way that they almost look like armor. It has like a
Mm-hmm.
hood over its head. Like it's a
I love
little
it.
D&D adventurer and it's standing in the
It
rain. I love
is.
him so
It's a little
much.
rogue. It's
Like
so
I want
cute.
to play as this character in a D&D campaign.
Write that down, Sarah. Write that down.
Little grumpy eagle man or falcon man.
You could never play as a grumpy character. I'm so sorry to call you out like that.
And you're not wrong though. My
Sorry.
characters, my characters are always the like, I just wanted to be like, I just want to save the world. I just want to be a good person.
Mm,
I don't care. I don't need money. I just want help.
mm. Um, this episode is going to be subtitled "The Tangent Episode." And I'm like
Which
really
we
not
should
mad
have
about
known
it.
even warming up. Like we kept being like, okay, record. Blah, 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 blah. Wait, 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 start over. Okay, record. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, and I'm not mad about it, to be honest.
Okay, and then the last card comes with a reveal. So I have these two friends out here. I mentioned this earlier, who go see this tattoo artist who specializes in American traditionalism
Hmm.
and or American traditional tattoos. And
Hmm.
they texted me and said like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to just come hang with us? Like, we know Charlie's out of town. You're not doing anything. You can drive down with us, watch us get tattoos, go
Oh,
out
cute.
to lunch afterwards." I was like, "Yeah, sounds fun." So then in classic Sarah, I was like, "Well, I can get a tattoo."
Stop.
And so I texted the guy, or I found the guy on Instagram, and I reached out and I said, "Hey, my two friends are coming to get a tattoo from you this Sunday. Do you have space for one more?" And he was like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And I was like really struggling because I was like, "Well, I really love this idea, but like my arm is very like fine line, like very detailed, not American
Hmm.
traditionalism at all."
Hmm.
And so I was like, "Where would it what would I get? Where would I get?" And I was like, I still want it to feel like me. So I was like Googling like witchy American traditional tattoos. And I was like, none of this is really speaking to me. This all just feels very like, I don't know, all my tattoos are very magical. They all have meaning to me. Like maybe I shouldn't get a tattoo. Maybe I just wanted to be involved. But there was a
Hmm.
part of me that's like, I don't know, I kind of want one. Like this sounds really fun. And
Do
like,
it.
so I just gotta find the right thing. And then I had the aha moment of like, wait, I think my tarot deck is American traditional style. So I went through all the cards and I'm going to get this one.
That is, oh my God. It's the strength
I
card. That's
know. The strength is
gorgeous.
like one of my big cards in the tarot. You know, I've been through some shit and I've had to have strength again and again. And what I've always
Mhm.
loved about, okay, I'm not going to get too into this because I'll start to cry. But when Charlie proposed to me, one of the things he said to me was that I had redefined what strength meant to him.
Oh,
I know, I'm already getting choked up.
oh.
And he said a lot of other nice stuff that I will just leave for us. But, you know, we've talked a lot in the past about the fact that, like, one of the things I like most about myself is the fact that no matter what's happened to me, I've always chosen to, like, be a little gentle, like, soft person who believes in the beauty of the world.
Mhm.
And to me, that's always the strength card of, like, she's so strong, she can
Yeah.
deal with a lion, but she does it with kindness and she does it with gentleness and she's still, like, feminine and soft and gentle. And this card to me,
Oh.
and on top of that, one of my favorite symbols in all of symbology is the blue flower, and she's got blue flowers in this card. And so this card
Oh.
to me just really is like what my version of strength looks like. So it is like a woman who appears to be nude. You can't see anything but her arms and face, but she doesn't seem
Hmm.
to have any clothes, and she's kind of laying on top of again, you can only see like the head, but you kind
And
of
the
get the sense that
arms.
she's like laying on top of the back of this lion because she's
Hmm.
got the arms kind of wrapped around like his head, and like one she's like resting on top of his head. It looks very like intimate in like a like
Yeah.
protector way of like the lion's kind of her protector and she's just like feeling like it. You know what it gives me the vibes of?
What?
It's like the lion and her just had to go do a bunch of badass stuff and be super strong, and now they're on the way home, and she gets to be weak
Yes.
and like let this lion support her. She has like a flower
Oh.
crown of blue flowers, and
And the lion is like fierce face right now. Just like,
yeah. Yeah, the lion's like got a growling face on and is like ready to like defend her. And also one of the guides I work with is a big old lion. So I just and this
oh,
is kind of the relationship we have. Like he'll kind of be all like rah, 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 and I'm just like kind of grumpy but also like strong. And so I
I
just
love
really love
that.
this. So I'm gonna get it on my right thigh.
Very cute. That was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Because I
it.
didn't want it to contrast with all my other tattoos that aren't in this style.
Hmm.
So yes,
Yeah.
I will share it on next week's episode.
I'm
Uh,
so excited.
yeah, me too.
Wait, when are you getting it?
Day after tomorrow. Yeah, Charlie doesn't know yet.
Really? That's
He's gonna
amazing.
get home from his trip and I'll be like, "Look what I did while you were gone. You can't leave
He's
me
not going to be
home alone."
surprised. He's not going to be surprised at
No,
all.
I'm very excited about it.
Shock level will be zero.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Oh, okay." He's like, yeah, well, you were going with people to a tattoo parlor. Of course you got a tattoo.
Yeah, of course you did.
Like, I'm just glad I thought ahead instead of doing like a flash tattoo day of.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Oh,
so the imagery is gorgeous and delightful and potent and
it's
yeah, I
very
love it a
playful.
lot. It is. It is. It
It's
has like a
very
sweetness to it
whimsy.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I feel like, I mean, I think we've already like talked about this, but it seems like the cards are quite easy to interpret what the meaning is because of the
Mhm.
simplicity, and because of the really thoughtful imagery. I feel like it is quite easy to get the general meaning of these things.
Yeah, I feel like for me the intuitability in this deck is very similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith in that
Mm-hmm.
the images tell a whole story and you can just go based off of that story.
Yeah.
But the more you know about the symbols that were chosen and like the traditional use and meaning of those cards, the more like I think a great example is the Four of Wands because like I feel like I would understand this depiction. So it's got like four hands
Oh.
holding matches, and like coming out of the flames is this big like moth with a skull on its back. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is super evocative on its own. And then
Mm-hmm.
also, I feel like if I were to research like moths and like different types of moths and like this particular coloring, like I'd probably get a whole nother level, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It like there's you're right, there are levels to this.
Yeah, and I think that's the same with the Rider-Waite-Smith. Like you look at a card and you
Mm-hmm.
get a meaning, and then you start researching it, and you're like, oh my God, there's so much more that I didn't even know that's
Yes.
happening here. Um, so yeah, so I think the intuitability is strong, but like not like the kinds of Oracle decks where you're like you open it and without ever looking at the booklet, ever reading anything, you get the whole meaning right away, right?
Right.
Use. So I when I think I talked about this actually when we talked about our deck care episode of like what you or not our deck care, yes, our deck care, what you do when you get
Hmm.
a new deck. And I talked about how I had this deck that was a gift and I like
Hmm.
kept it in a separate spot thinking like, oh, I gotta sit down with it and get to know it before I use it. And then I had a client come and like felt like I had to use it right away.
Oh.
And that's how I've felt with this deck from the beginning is that like I keep feeling like, oh, I need to sit down and really like study the imagery and get to know the deck. And I keep like not needing to do that. It just keeps me like, no, bring me, use me, I'm ready. Like, you know, tarot, you get this. Like, let's go.
Oh. So it's like sounds really friendly and familiar.
It is. It's very friendly. It's very familiar. I don't find that I use it a ton with clients because, um, quite honestly, I have a lot of like older, wealthier white women as clients, and I feel like some of the imagery in this deck would derail the focus of the reading.
Hmm.
You know? And so
I
I'm
get
just
that.
like, I just don't think it would resonate with them as much. But every once in a while, I have a client who's more like young and queer and has tattoos and reminds me of myself. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. Um, so
I
it
never
does
really
still get
thought about
used for it.
that too.
Yeah.
Like the consideration of like which decks to use and like you're totally right. It's not about like as much as you want these other people to understand and be accepting of this, this
Hmm.
is like a thing for them.
Yes. And they're
And so
paying me a lot of money.
yeah,
Uh,
and you don't, of course, I love what you said. Like, I don't want this to derail from
yes.
whatever meaning is trying to be derived from this. So
Exactly.
yeah, I
And
like that
that's
a lot.
always what it is. It's not about like, oh, I don't want them to see a penis and boobs on the
Oh,
same
scandal.
person. Like,
Scandal.
it's more that like that's gonna be all they see. And it's like so much like they are also witnessing the imagery. And so I need to kind
Right.
of meet them in the middle to focus on the meaning of the card and not like the imagery of it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so I find that I use it pretty much the same way I would use a tarot. Like I haven't found that it wants to be used more or less with certain like questions. It's more
Mm-hmm.
that like it's like it has a younger appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then or just a more queer appeal. Like I don't have a lot of older queers
Yeah.
in my community, but I'm sure they would love it too.
Yeah.
Um, and I think and I find that it's one that like me personally, I grab for a lot. Like not
Oh,
like just when I'm pulling cards or like I just keep wanting to have it around me. Like I just love it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I
I
use it a
love
lot
that.
more than I do my other decks, like for myself versus for clients.
I see. I like that. It seems like a much more versatile,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
set of cards. Because
exactly.
I know
It
we've talked
is.
about before, like there's cards that you just read for yourself, cards that you just use for clients, cards that you
Yeah.
use for like passing around and you don't mind getting like banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that. This one seems like in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. I think I could see in the future it being a great one for like tarot classes where we talk about like reading different imagery from different decks.
Oh, I like
Um,
that.
because it's got very unique imagery compared to the Rider-Waite-Smith, but still very
Yeah.
potent imagery.
Hmm.
Um, and then let's see, is there anything I didn't talk about? I guess just shuffleability and magic
Shuffle
level.
ability. We talked a little bit about feel, but shuffle ability and magic level. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Very shuffleable. I mean, any of those like satin matte ones, they don't get sticky, right? And so like
Hmm.
they just I feel like they cut and move past one another so easily, you know? Um
Oh, I'm watching you do it and it looks really lovely.
it's very pleasant. I'll bring this deck for your birthday and we can play around
Oh,
with
yay.
it. And then when
Yes.
I do the like casino shuffle as we've been calling it, where you cut the
Hmm.
deck, um it's doable, but like I can't do it on camera for very well. Like I have to do it on the ground or on the table because it's
I see.
they're stiff cards. They're like thick, stiff, and maybe that's just because they're newer, but like it takes a little bit of like muscle to get them to like bend, you know? Uh
Yeah. Which
but
is good.
yeah, yeah.
Which is good that it
For
won't like,
durability, yeah,
yes.
exactly. And they like I do that and they don't really bend too much. They kind of just go straight back to their brick because they're such like durable, firm cards.
Wow.
Um,
She's a
so
brick house.
she's a brick. House. Magic
Wow.
level. Should I pull some cards?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull some cards. I'm gonna scream if it's the tower. And then have to actually sit with why the tower kept coming up because I just decided to ignore it. Um,
Are we pulling for you or me?
one for you, one for me, one for the listeners. So, Kaitlyn, do you have a
Yes.
question for me today?
Um, this next week is like a little bit chaotic, a little bit busy. So I just want
Mhm.
some like advice for the next week.
So, what energy can Kaitlyn lean into to help support them in the coming week? So that one? No, you want me to keep shuffling? You want me to shuffle old school style? All right. Oh, okay. Um, okay, I kind of got two. We got one, but we have like a little supporting character. So
Okay, love
the
that.
one that's on the top that we got is the magician.
Oh,
And I get it the
wait.
do you want to describe it
Okay.
first?
Yeah, so it's a kind of almost like a like what the circus like
Ringmaster.
ringleader, ringmaster, in the middle with
Might be
black top hat.
ringleader.
I don't know. Who
Ring,
knows?
the ring
Words are made
guy.
up. Words are made up. Everything's made up. So it's kind of like a classic guy with like really rosy cheeks, a little twirly mustache, black
He's
top hat
white.
with he's white with an infinity on the kind of band across the cap. There's a lot of things surrounding him. It's just his face, and there's like a cup, a red rose, a hand with like little zappies coming out of it, some coins, a double-ended a double-ended candle. I almost said a different word. Um, a hand with a wand. I think that's it. Yeah, it's a face with a bunch of stuff like
Yeah,
around it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And all the traditional magician symbolism, the wand, the fire, the pentacles, the
The zappy hands.
the zappy hands.
Yeah.
And I think the
Oh.
message with this, especially because I got a cheat and saw the other card I got for you. So I pulled this card, but I like felt like the other card under it was like also relevant, but not like the main message, and that was the Emperor.
Oh.
Which
So
is
the
like, oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, the emperor is also a disembodied face. It is a black person with a gorgeous little afro, also rosy cheeks,
Yeah.
with ram horns, and then a floating crown above them, and then kind of next to
That's like the wand. It's like the symbol that is the thing that the emperor is holding in the traditional tarot card.
the Ankh.
Sure.
It's like it's like an Egyptian symbol, and it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it has a circle on the top. Um, blah blah blah. Also cradled by little laurels with a star, a moon, and a sun on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's very Aries, very cute.
So I think oh yeah, it is very Aries.
Yeah, that's the air. It's the Aries card is the Emperor, which
Yeah.
is really, I don't know. I don't embody a lot of that energy, but
So I think
strong,
with
decisive.
so so I think with the magician as like the main message, I think the
Mhm,
message is like, yeah, there's a lot going on, but like you can handle a lot. Like you're capable, like I the message I got more directly is like I was thinking like um I was picturing because it's also circus theme that like yeah, you're
mhm.
juggling a lot, but you're a good
Yeah.
juggler.
Oh,
And then
I'm
I think
literally not, but yes. Spiritually, emotionally, maybe yes.
and then I think the emperor is like and as you're juggling all of that, like maybe leaning a little more into the like making sure you know what's on your calendar, like having your shit, like your ducks in a row, like keeping track of what needs to be done, keeping your to-do lists at the forefront of the mind, like having more of that kind of logical get shit done approach. Rather than the like, I'm just gonna float through it all and see how it goes, like staying on task, staying focused, and also like remembering your strength with the ram horns and the Aries and the fire. It's like remember who you
Yeah.
are, remember what you're capable of, and know that like it might feel like a lot, but you can totally ride this wave.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And also, as you were reading those, little bean just decided to sit at my feet. So that was really nice. It's a little confirmatory.
Little Bean was like, I'm here. I will support you through this.
She's so cute. Okay. Man, the animals are animaling today.
Hector is sitting off camera just staring at me because his lunchtime was 9 minutes ago.
She's
He's
like,
like,
rude, mom.
um, I think, do I have a specific question for mine? I think I just like it's a very simple, basic question of like, what is the most important thing for me to be remembering right now or like
Mhm,
to know? But not, it feels less knowing like of like what's coming and more just like to keep in mind, like what energy have I been maybe neglecting or forgetting or knowledge or lesson that would be really supportive of me in this
mhm.
moment. Do you find it easier or harder to read for yourself versus other people?
I feel like I get more annoyed with myself. Or like, I just don't want to hear it. And I don't know, I can start to read. It's hard because when you read for yourself, I think sometimes it's a little harder for me to not put my own feelings into it as
Yeah.
much. Where you're like, oh, I know these things or this is what I want to hear. So it's like this kind of weird confirmation bias. But at the same time, tarot does kind of tell you like it is. It's way easier to tell working in mental health, it's way easier to give other people advice on what they need to do and totally ignore doing it yourself.
Um, okay, it is this one. Yeah, okay. Sometimes
I love when you talk to yourself. It's so cute.
I find it like sometimes I find it harder to trust my own intuition with pulling cards. Like
Hmm.
I pull a card and I'm like, wait, am I just tired of shuffling or was that intuition? And so sometimes I'll have
Yeah.
like what just happened is I saw this card and I was like, I don't know if that's really it. And then I kept shuffling and then I pulled it again. And I was like, okay, it is this. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I have to double check because I'm like, I don't know. Is that
I
what you
know
want to
it.
say?
I think it's kind of like along the same lines. You're worried about your own bias for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is like the main. I also got like two cards, so I wonder what that's about. Um, this is the main card I pulled, which is the Seven of Cups.
Oh,
Would you describe our babe here?
yes. So it's kind of similar to the Empress. It's very
Yeah, like the
similar,
character.
like
The
the
character
character.
seems to be the same kind of
Yeah,
person.
like long black hair. They are, it's just their torso and they are not wearing any clothes, which is real nice.
Yeah, we get a
Um,
lot of that in this deck, and I love it. A lot of
we
nipples.
love, we love celebrating bodies. So then it's like their head is kind of crowned with six cups and then one in the center in front of them, and their eyes are closed and their hands are kind of doing this like little steeple thing, like, and
Hmm.
like they're really thinking about these cups.
Which is like that's what the Seven of Cups is about, right? Is like considering your options. The Seven of
Mm-hmm.
Cups is a card of having like a lot. So in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, it's the one where it's got the figure kind of looking up into the sky with their
Mm-hmm.
back turned to you, and there's like seven cups. One has like a dragon in it, and one has a castle, and one has like laurels, and they have all different figures. And it's this feeling of like there's a lot of potential, a lot of possibility, and you're having to sort of start to make some choices. And I think this
Mm-hmm.
card does a really good job of that because there's like six cups behind her and one in front of her. And to me, it gives the energy of like you're kind of taking each choice one at a time and like sitting with it and meditating on
Yeah.
it and being like, does this feel aligned? Yes or no? And then kind of setting it aside or keeping
Yes.
it. Yeah. It's the
She's Marie
Marie. Yes,
Kondoing.
exactly. Exactly. Does this spark joy? And I
Oh
think
my God.
um what's interesting about that is that the card that is on the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands. But this imagery
Oh,
is so different. So the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith is just like the eight wands like moving right through like the this and then this one it's like a cloud with an eye and then
mhm.
there's rain coming down from the cloud and there's eight wands coming down from the cloud as
That
if
look like
like the
they
rain,
look
like
like
part of the
really
rain.
long rain streaks.
Yeah, and it's all
Yeah,
falling into like an ocean or the sea or a lake. And so to
interesting.
me, I think like traditionally I think of Eight of Wands as like positive change and like rapid move. Like it's like I always when people pull the Eight of Wands or I pull it for people, I say like there's a lot of momentum happening right now, and you just kind of like go with it. Like take
Yeah,
that, harness that energy, and make the like creative project you're trying to bring to fruition. It's like now is the time of like activating it and like take off.
yeah.
But with this version of it, I get more of like cathartic change of like it's still that like
Oh,
positive
okay.
change, but it's like it's coming with the rain, right? And so it's like it's maybe harder, more emotional, but it's still like a fresh start, new growth, good like that rain then feeds the seeds and they sprout new plants. And so it's like, yeah,
It doesn't have a sad energy to it
it
as much as
does
I'm gonna like describe,
it
but
does
it's like
have
that.
like a sad look, but yeah.
It has this like, that feeling of like when you've gone through a lot of hard things throughout your day and you're like, I just need to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that like building pressure.
Ooh, you know what it makes me think of?
What?
So when I was going through my concussion recovery,
Hmm.
two things were happening. One, my concussion pain was really bad. Like my headaches were really bad. And then
Hmm.
on top of that, I deal with like undiagnosed chronic pain, and the stress of my concussion triggered my chronic pain. So I was dealing with abdominal pain and pelvic pain and all sorts of pain. And we were lying in bed before bed one night, and I was just overwhelmed and tired and had a bad day. And Charlie knows that like one of my favorite things that always makes me feel better is head scratchies. So he was just sitting there scratching my head and like slowly massaging my head. And he got to this one point on my temple where it's like he hit this point and it's like all the pain went away. My whole, like everything went still. And I was like, wait, don't move. He's like, what? I was like, just keep rubbing right there. Like, I don't know what Chinese medicine pressure point you have found, but like right at the base of my temple, he like hit some
Hmm.
point and it's like all the pain just disappeared. And I just started sobbing. I just started
Oh,
sobbing and I was like, I've been in pain all day and it's been really hard. And like, it was like that stillness that like it was a very pleasant moment. Like everything was good. The pain stopped, but it
right.
was the space I needed to like feel all the feelings. and like to release all that pain. And so that's what I get with this Eight
Yeah.
of Wands. It's like you're releasing the pain so that you can move forward,
Hmm.
And then when I think with the Seven of Cups, it's like, okay, but then also like you do have an undiagnosed chronic illness and it has been flaring up. So as you like hold space for all that grief, feel all that pain, and then like really consider what things you want to focus on as you move forward,
Yeah.
because right
I
now
like
it's
that.
too many things.
Yes. Pick and choose.
Yeah. Which is always what I get from the tarot is like, hey, did you know that you don't have the same level of capacity that other people do and you should do less things? And I'm like, no.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna stop you there. It's not true. Everybody has their limits and everybody is just projecting or pretending that they can do absolutely everything. And you are a human just like everyone else, and you are
Yeah,
an
okay, but
exceptional human.
yes, thank you. And also
Hmm.
I live with autism and chronic pain. So there's also like I have limits.
You have spoons.
I have spoon. I often I'm operating with a different number of spoons, and so I think
Yes.
that's what I'm always getting from the tarot is like, hey, you keep trying to use the same number of spoons your dad uses, and he's like hyper executive functioning. So like
And sometimes
maybe,
you don't have spoons, and sometimes you just have
yeah,
forks.
yeah, exactly, and the soup
Yeah.
just keeps falling through.
All
So
right.
maybe I should
So,
stop trying to eat soup.
yes, never.
We got
We're
some
very
fun
pro
metaphors.
soup here.
All
So what
right.
do the listeners need to hear carrying through this next week? What do y'all need?
So, wherever you are, whenever you're listening, what is the message that will most resonate and resonate with and serve our listeners or viewers today?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. They're
I have
like,
like
don't worry,
elevator
we'll give
music.
you two as well.
I have like little elevator music plays in my head when you're shuffling. I'm like,
All
okay,
right, so this one we've got the main card and the bottom of the deck they want to show us.
okay.
So, main card, King of Coins.
Ooh,
I
oh,
know, I know. The King of Coins in this one, it's like a white man with like slicked back, short black hair, and little devil horns, and he's wearing like green pants and a white button up with a thin black tie, and it gives me like what's that show about advertising in the 50s?
Mad Men.
Yeah, it gives me like Mad Men vibes.
Yes, it really does.
Like deal with the
Yes,
devil energy.
but it doesn't seem like bad deal with the devil because these aren't. They don't look like traditional devil horns.
No, they're just like maybe demon horns. Like he's
Demon
just
horns.
got
They're like a
little
little
horns.
rounded.
Yeah, warlock
Yeah,
horns.
warlock horns. Yeah, it seems to me like it's kind of this like necessary evil.
Hmm.
Not evil, but like it's this kind of thing that maybe you don't want to deal with. This like executive function,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
executive energy.
Yeah, and it's the King of Coins, so King of Pentacles, and he's stand or sitting or kind of like he's got a very like cool, collected vibe to him, and he's inside of a pentacle, and he's holding a pentacle, and then there's pentacles all around him.
Hmm.
And which I think is so that's what I mean about like the imagery in this deck's really interesting for like contrasting with the Rider-Waite-Smith because the King of Pentacles and the Rider-Waite-Smith is all like earth, nature, of the earth, like very grounded. And
Hmm.
this just has a whole different vibe to it. Like
Yes.
this feels like the owner of a nightclub, like
Ooh, okay.
like kind of like has a lot of wealth, has his fingers in a couple different pots, like takes no shit, like you know maybe has like some cronies who work for him, like kind of mobster energy.
Kind of reminds me of Severance too.
Yeah, and so I
Not
feel
Severance, but not Severance. What's the other one? What's the other one with all the business people? Oh my God, I can't remember it. It's not Severance though. Anyway, continue.
Sopranos.
No, it's the one with
I
the
don't watch
family.
TV, I'm sorry.
I
I have watched
know.
Severance.
It's the one. I love that. No, it's the one with the family. It's the one with the family, and there's the.
Kardashians.
No, let's move on. I'm not gonna remember it, and
Okay.
it's not the Kardashians.
And then I think well no, we'll do the bottom of the deck later. They want me to interpret this one first. Okay. So yeah, this version of the King of Coins to me is kind of giving like okay. kind of a it's okay to be selfish for a little while. Like it's okay to
Ooh.
put your needs first. It's okay to focus on like building up your reserves, building up um like what you need to support you in this time
Mhm.
and worry less about like how you're taking care of others or even how you're being seen or perceived by others and focusing more on like getting yours, so to speak,
Yeah, that's
like
not a bad thing
exactly
sometimes.
is like and in this card it has sort of like a slimy energy, but like
Yeah.
I think that the idea is much more pure than that of like
Hmm.
uh just like taking care of what you need and being honest about what you want as well. I
Hmm.
think that's a big energy of this card is like having worldly desires is not wrong or bad, and it's not
Hmm.
bad to like want to make a lot of money, or it's not bad to like want to be your partner to be sexually attracted to you. Like it's not bad to like have wants and put them out there and
Yeah.
ask people to fulfill them.
Yeah.
And
I
then
figured out what the TV show is. It's Succession.
oh, okay, yeah. It's not bad to want succession. I don't know, I've never seen the show. And at the bottom of the deck we have the three of swords. Um
Oh.
and the heart in this version is like almost looks like a vial.
Ooh, yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
little potion. It very looks like the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's like a heart with three daggers going through it.
Mhm.
But yeah, the top is definitely like a little funnel, and the sword going through the top has fire coming out of it.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little these ones
Like a
definitely look like
sash?
daisies, like a little daisy like sash,
Yeah.
like going across.
Which to
Yeah.
me is saying that like it's almost like I've gotten a lot of cards lately and just like you and I were just talking about this off air of like everyone's going through some shit right now. Like everyone, myself, everyone I
Really?
read for, everyone I talk to, whether and I was saying to Kaitlyn, whether it's like real life shit or just like stuff in your own mind, like people are going through shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the three of heart or the three of swords here is kind of like a um like you were out there giving so much of yourself and now
Yeah.
now you're dealing with hurt and your heart is hurting and now it's time to like give less to everyone else and take care of that heart and like focus on what you need, that like what we were saying, like prioritizing your own needs, your own desires, your own
Yeah.
abundance, like whatever that looks like for you right now.
Yeah.
And stop worrying so much about like being present for everyone else and their needs and think about your own.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so
Oh,
much.
Jesus Christ. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the tower sitting here staring
Shut.
up at me. Which, okay.
Goodbye. I just had to walk out of the room for a
Yeah,
brief
just
moment.
for folks who aren't watching the YouTube, you're really missing out. Kaitlyn just had to stand up and walk out of the room. So I feel like I need to address the tower because they keep giving it to us. Um,
I don't like this.
so in I feel like okay, this will be our last little tangent and then we'll sign off. But
Yeah.
um I have been having a very interesting experience with myself and with all of the like really like highly respected spiritual people in my life. So
Hmm.
mentors, my own like acupuncturist healer, like friends, everyone I know who's like really intuitive, who has like real magical talent. And particularly those who like tap into collective energy and like work with spirits and talk to guides, have all been sharing this similar experience. And this comes within my own community as well as um like big podcasts out there that are like big like Chani Nicholas and there's a great podcast called Tarot for the Wild Soul and like things like that. I've been hearing these same messages there as well. Uh, and it feels like we're all of the intuitives I know have been tapping into this energy of like, why we are all so worried about the political sphere, and all
Hmm.
the guides and all the magic is not. Like anytime we talk into intuition, they're like, it's gonna be fine, trust us,
Interesting.
it's fine. And it almost feels like they know something we don't know. And there's just been this energy of like everyone's freaking out, and the spirit world is like, chill out, it's fine. Like And the
That's good
message
to
that
know.
we continue to be receiving, like really since January, this has been coming through in like mediumship readings, tarot readings, astrology, both again from myself, my community, from like bigger names that I listen to, is this message of like I know that shit's really bad and you need to be present for it and you need to like care and take action, but now is not the time for like hitting the streets. Now is the time for like tending the inner life, like taking care of yourself. And then the other thing that continues to come through is like imagining a better future. And the message that keeps kind of coming through is that like our tower moment is coming. Like this system is running itself into the ground and everything's about to implode. And rather like yes, we should kind of hasten like the ending of the current regime, but
Hmm.
also like we need people who have ideas when everything implodes of what to
Yeah.
put in its place. And if everyone's busy
Yes.
panic and freaking out, we're just going to rebuild. Like you see this with classic like French Revolution and like, classic revolutions where like a bunch
Yep.
of people get killed and overcome and then someone else takes power and is just bad in a different way.
Yeah, there's a vacuum and it gets filled with whatever's
Exactly.
around.
And so there's been this kind of very hopeful message of like things are really bad, but it's because we're at the breaking point. And like
Oh,
coming soon is like our opportunity to build a better tomorrow. And
I love that.
and I love that. And maybe I'm totally wrong, and maybe all these other people are totally wrong, but that's like what keeps coming through, and it's very exciting and hopeful. And so that's what I'm getting from this tower card is like the towers is happening. Like things are burning. Because the tower is like scary, it's ending, but it's, in this card, it's like a traditional castle turret, and in the Rider-Waite-Smith, you see like a king falling out of the window. So it's also like an end of hierarchy. It's
Yeah.
a breaking down of traditional power structures. It is a falling apart of what you thought was like unbreakable. And so I think there is an energy of the tower of like the big breaks are coming and actively happening. Like we're
Yeah.
seeing it with our government right now. And I feel like there's a little bit of an energy of like, yeah, everything's falling apart. So get ready for what comes next.
And I think like I love everything you just said. And I think one of the things that I've been really exposed to, and I know it's my algorithm,
Yeah.
so I'm aware that it is a limited view of the world. But one of the things that I do keep on seeing is the disillusionment with the current power structure and
Hmm.
seeing a lot of people who are on maybe like the opposite side to me,
Yeah.
or people who are pretty or were pretty happy with the recent political changes are
Yeah.
now kind of realizing that this maybe isn't like the best idea. So
Yeah.
I'm like starting to see like little hints of
Hmm.
it breaking down from all different sides.
Right. Right. That
Um,
it's not who's in power that's the problem. It's power that's the problem. And so it's the power that's crumbling. And like that is the terror or the tower energy.
I want that on a shirt too.
Yes.
It's not who's in power that's the problem. It's power that's the problem. And it's true. And it's true. So I think too, yeah. And just kind of speaking on this because even though we are a fun tarot podcast, we also do this podcast in the real world, and
Yeah.
we're not going to shy away from talking about things. But I think one of the things that's really important to hold on to right now is joy.
Hmm.
And I get stuck in this trap of kind of the doom and gloom of, oh my God, it's never going to get better. Everything's going to go back to the Handmaid's Tale, and we're all just, it's all fucked.
Mm.
But I think sinking into that is giving so much power to the negativity. It's giving so much power to that. And don't get me wrong, like mourn it, but also
Hmm.
don't forget to celebrate the good things, like
Yeah.
celebrate the people in your life that are supporting you, celebrate the benefits or the privileges that you have,
Yeah.
while also like reaching out and helping others. Because ultimately,
Yeah.
when like joy and hope is destroyed, that's when
Yeah.
really bad shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
So be sad, but also like make time for
Yeah.
joy and make time for care. And I think that like suits really well with
Yeah.
what we just pulled or what you
And
just
I think
pulled.
it makes sense that it's coming up with this deck because, like, that is something that Black activists and queer
Mm-hmm.
activists have really like, and really like Black trans activists in
Oh,
particular have continued to teach everyone else is that like joy
yes.
is resistance and like joy is an act of resistance that is absolutely necessary right now.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we even mentioned before too, like that imagery of all the people who were taking care of patients in the 80s. I
Yeah.
definitely talked about this on a different podcast, but it's just this imagery of people who were taking care of their friends who were diagnosed with
Mm.
HIV in the 80s. And this specifically affected Black and trans and
Mm.
queer people, or just people of color in general. Um, that people who were taking care of them were feeling just this weight of it's not going to get better. The administration is not acknowledging it. We're getting dick slapped left and right. I have great words for things, but when we leave and when we finish our posts, we are going to dance. We are going to make art. We are going to celebrate and live in love because
Yeah.
if we don't, what is all of this for? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
So
how you
I
fill the
just,
vacuum. Like when the vacuum comes up, if what you've been practicing is joy and love and mutual aid and like living in
mhm.
reciprocity with your community and with the earth, then like that's what you can fill the space with.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's really hard to do. It's, don't get me wrong, it's hard to do. And I sit in my little doom cave.
I know. I feel like this
Um,
was a therapy session for me. I'm like, oh yeah, I do need to like we do need to remember. Like I feel like you and I have both been kind of in it right now, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
wait, joy.
wait a second. Yeah, and like taking little spots. And I think one of the things I'm really looking forward to next week in a couple of days is like celebrating my birthday with people that I really love because and like feeling really guilty about like taking that
Yeah.
time or like asking things of other people and then realizing, oh no, wait, like
Yeah.
at the end of my life and I reflect on things, am I going to remember the times that I was trying to be like really demure and cute and not bother people? Or am I going to remember the times that I like asked people in my life to come
Yeah.
and celebrate me?
Yeah.
Because I deserve it. And because we all,
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
and you know, even yesterday, like I was it was the first time in days I had had like a low pain day and I was just feeling very
mhm.
good in my body. And I was supposed to do, I had some like to-dos I was supposed to do, and I just like couldn't bring myself to do them. I was like baking lemon bars, and I made lemonade and brought it to the bookstore employees, and like I
Cute.
took my dog for a walk with Hector in the backpack. Like I was
Shut
doing
your
a
face.
whole, I called it my chaotic bisexual day, but like I was
We
just
love
having a
it.
whole moment, and I just kept thinking like, "Ah, I should really sit down and do some work. And I was like, why? Like the work will
Why?
be there. Like this
Uh-huh.
is so important to maintain your mental health through the like physical struggles you've been dealing with. And I think like that's what we're both talking about, like you with the birthday and me with the lemon bars. It's
Mhm.
like it is
Yes.
it is happening in our microcosms, but it's a good reminder for the macrocosm too of like with everything that's going on in the world, like it is necessary to embrace joy and to embrace rest and play to like give to it's the king of what we were saying with the king of pentacles to
Hmm.
like take care of your own needs so that
Be
you
a little
have what you
selfish.
need to get through everything else like the three of hearts to get through everything else or three of hearts three of swords like everything else that's
I
going
got you.
on.
I didn't hear anything different in my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
On
probably
that
enough of
note,
us
Hector's begging for
tangenting.
lunch, so
And my stomach is also begging for lunch. So, thank you for listening. We've really loved talking to you about
yeah.
this. We love doing this.
I
Yeah.
fixed the form,
Oh,
so if you
yes.
want to say hey, sarahdittmore.com/podcast. You can also go there to find the YouTube or the podcast if you're listening to one and you'd rather listen to the other. Um,
Or both.
and please, like, give us 5 stars, leave a review. It helps. Tell a friend, share it with
Mhm.
someone. Make a flyer and hang it in your dorm, corkboard. I don't know.
Amazing. And if you do have any like comments, questions, suggestions for a future episode, just tell us how cute we are. You can go to that forum and just tell us anything. We had
We
our
are
first
pretty
one.
fucking cute.
I know. We had our first one last week and
Yes.
cannot tell you how much joy it brought us.
It
So
brought
even if
us
you're
so
just
much
dropping in,
joy.
even if you're dropping in just to say hi, we'd love to hear from you. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
All
Well,
right,
y'all have a great
folks.
day.
Enjoy the warmer weather and
Hmm.
as is above,
So is below.
as is within.
So is without.
Thank you
I love you.
and blessed
Blessed
be.
be.
Bye.
Bye.